This military camp in Durman is where young men from Sudan's Western Darfur region come to receive training. They volunteered to fight alongside Sudan's army in its war against the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, or RSF. Musa Adam was displaced from his city of Niala in South Darfur. He says the horrors committed by the RSF is what made him join this camp.
The displacement, the looting of civilians, the rape of our sisters and mothers is what made me join this camp. The RSF took over Niala, and staying there became too dangerous. So I came here, but joined this camp to return to Darfur and fight the RSF.
The war between the army and the RSF, which started last year in the capital, spread quickly to Darfur, which has long been a conflict zone. Violence there between the former government and rebel forces in 2003 killed more than 300,000 people and displaced 2 million people. The UN described it as ethnic cleansing by government forces and their allies. For many of those here, the current conflict is a continuation of the war that started in Darfur in 2003. The RSF has its origins in the Janjaweed militia, which the government used to fight rebels and which was accused of committing crimes against civilians. Now, the paramilitary is accused of committing similar crimes against civilians around the country, but more specifically in the Darfur region. The UN says between 10,000 to 15,000 have been killed in West Darfur alone when ethnic Masalit were targeted by the RSF and allied groups in this conflict. Several mass graves have been reported in the state. In North Darfur, the last remaining army stronghold in the region, the RSF has launched repeated attacks that has led to the displacement of more than 130,000 people in the past month. Dozens of villages have been burned to the ground, mostly of ethnic Zaghawas. Some of those who've ended up in the camp are former soldiers and former RSF officers.
I reported to the army on the first day of the conflict against the RSF because it rebelled against the government. They stood against the army and against the country from day one. They killed civilians and forced them to leave their homes.
The camp is run by this commander, a member of what's known as the Border Guards, once stationed in Darfur. They were once allied with the RSF. They're now fighting their former allies.
Those from Darfur who've come here have gone through injustice. All 5 states in Darfur aren't safe because of the RSF, except for el-Fasher. The other states have been looted, people have been killed and robbed. That's what those forces are, mercenaries and tribalists.
The RSF controls most of the western region. For those here, Darfur may be hundreds of kilometers away, but they say fighting the RSF here in the capital makes them feel one step closer to home. Hiba, Al Jazeera, Durman.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.